I'm glad you guys tuned in to watch and see what we're talking about today. On our tips today, we're going to give some basic information about equipment and a small little instruction on how to handle the equipment. In our last lesson, we talked about having the dog to heel and working with the dog with the heel, and we talked about getting the dog to heel on a 6-foot leash. These are one of the essential pieces of equipment that you're going to need to start doing your obedience work. This is your control work right here. The placement of the lead should be as follows. Put your arm all the way through the opening, grabbing at a substantial or nice distance from the dog, taking all the slack out and having it hang to the right side of your body with the leash arm width across your body, so you'll be able to use the equipment, work with the equipment without having it bind up and catch up or be caught up on you, okay? The 6-foot leash is one of the essential pieces of equipment that you need to start with, okay? Also, what's very essential in our training is the choker. This is a chain choker, and it's used for correction or giving corrections. And it's a proper placement on the equipment. When you put the chain on the dog, the slide part of the choker should be to your side of the dog. Not coming across the dog's head this way, but up and down motion so that the weight, when you release the pressure, will automatically let the lead or let the choker slide back through, going to a relaxed state. These are one of the other essential pieces of equipment that we need during the obedience training. As the dog gets older, we start to switch, and a lot of times we'll switch over to what's called a prong training collar. It's a prong training collar because it has little tips on each clip, which gives a correction to the dog. These tips are not pointed. They're not sharpened, so they don't dig into the dog. What they do is they actually give the dog a series of small pinches around his neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 essential pinches will be used to help get the dog's attention. And this is called the prong training collar. Also essential in the training is what we have and we call the flat collar or the restraint collar. This we use in conjunction with the training collar and the leash. Once we've worked the exercise or we've placed the dog through the exercises, giving the dog the corrections that we need with the training collar, then we finish the exercise by taking the stress and the pressure off of the dog by switching from the prong collar to the flat restraining collar, giving the dog a little freedom, a little bit of ability to be able to move around. This is the harness that we use during the training. The harness is a restraintive piece of equipment that we use to help hold the dog back or keep the dog in restraint. We also use this as part of the mechanism of training to help take the stress off of the dog, or if we're putting the dog on a stakeout chain, we can put the stakeout chain on the dog. The dog can be on the stakeout chain, and now he's not getting any unnecessary corrections by being either on the collar or on the training collar. So today what we were talking about is basic equipment that we need or that you should have as part of your training pack. Okay, what we're going to do right quick, and I'm going to show you one of the most effective things that's part of our training, and a lot of people don't get the full understanding of it until they've actually gone through it a few times. And what we're talking about is the correction. Rider, come. Sit. When we're giving a dog a correction on the lead, or when we're walking with the dog or we're working with the dog, in this case we have the choker on the dog with the 6-foot leather leash. I want to give the dog a correction. What I will do if the dog is not operating properly, if the dog is not going through the proper phases to present itself, when we have to give the dog a correction, the correction is given, but it's given in a manner to where it's a pull and a release. A pull and a release. Most folks think that when I give the dog the correction that they want to pull up on the lead and hold the lead. Okay, well, that's not the proper use of the leash nor the choke chain. The correction should be a up and a down motion, a pull and a release. A scissor-like action. The dog hears the chain sliding It also starts to cut part of the air or part of that dog's air passage, giving the dog the sense that it's not going to choke itself out, so it will start to restrain itself. But the correct movement for the correction is a pull and a release. Once again, it's a pull and a release. That's our tip today for training and working with the equipment. One essential thing that I'd like to say is that when you're giving the dog a correction, do not be abusive in your corrections. You give the dog a slight correction and you let the pressure off. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.